Hello, everybody. Jonathan Mudd here, coming to you with episode number 10 of Down the Rabbit Hole, where I'm digging into the songs from my new album, Meant for the Sun. Today, we're going to go deep on a song that's probably the most straightforward rock and roll thing on the record. It's something called Here and Now. Staring out at a driving rain while the wheels on the dream rust. Thinking about how we used to say it's paradise or bust. Settled into the family way, pinching pennies into copper dust. Making plans for another day when things start to open up. Back in 2021, my wife Carol and I decided rather suddenly to pick up and move from Washington, D.C. to the low country of South Carolina. Like everybody living in big cities at the time, we were in the midst of a lot of upheaval. There was the COVID shutdown, all the social unrest and political intolerance. But also eventually, there was space to reassess what our priorities were, to re-examine our values. And we thought about it for a long time, and we decided to make a change. As it turned out, of course, we were just part of what I think the history books are one day going to call the Great American Migration of the 2020s. According to the U.S. Census, something like 8 million people a year have been moving from state to state since the beginning of the decade, and a lot of them from the big cities and to the south, just like we did. Anyway, I wrote Here and Now during our migration period. It's essentially an escape song. It's about seizing the day, but at the same time, I was feeling some anxiety about uprooting the family, about moving to a new place. And so in the lyrics, there's an element of encouragement, almost like I was trying to cheer us on a little bit. Now, as excited as I was about Here and Now, when I went to demo it up, it just wasn't happening. I couldn't figure it out. I felt like I had a solid song and the lyrics were rich, but it just kept sounding flat. In fact, I was about to scrap it when my pal Elrond Z deTrois, the drummer who played on every song on the Meant for the Sun album, came to the rescue. Now, a couple quick words about Elrond Z deTrois, or Easy D as his friends call him. I met Easy D not long after we moved to South Carolina, and he had recently located from Vichy, France. I saw him playing locally, and we struck up a friendship and got together and jammed and just really hit it off musically. He's an incredible drummer. He's got impeccable time, and he can play pretty much everything. All right, so back to Here and Now. Easy D and I are working on the song one day, trying to come up with a cool arrangement. And he's experimenting with all kinds of different beats. But we just can't get anything to lock in. It just doesn't feel right. And he's getting really frustrated. And all of a sudden, he just screams and launches into this entirely different groove. Totally different than what we were playing. Heavier and faster. The mood in the room changed immediately. I switched out my acoustic guitar for an electric, joined in with the chords, and we were like, yes, that's it. Here's the groove that Easy D was playing. Dudes, I'm taking a break from being insane in absolutely everything I do to hip you to the new record by Jonathan Mudd. It's called Meant for the Sun, and it really is meant for cruising Sunset Strip with a top down and the speakers blowing everybody's face off. Check it out on Spotify or Apple Music or wherever you like to get dirty. Jonathan Mudd's shit makes me want to rock upside down. Let's talk about tempo for a second. To me, figuring out the right tempo for a song, the right speed to play it at, is really hard. I've discovered that oftentimes the songwriter tempo is not the right tempo for the song. Just a couple beats per minute, one way or the other, faster or slower, can make a huge difference in the way the song feels. To demonstrate what I'm talking about, let's check out a couple clips from one of my all-time favorite rock and roll movies, That Thing You Do. The title song for the movie was written by Adam Schlesinger of Fountains of Wayne, and it's awesome. It's the big hit for the fictional band in the movie, The Wonders. And in these clips, you can hear what happens when you move from songwriter tempo to the tempo that really makes the song fly. You see what I'm saying? The point is that even though it happened in the studio and not at a sock hop, that was exactly my experience with Here and Now. The song just needed the right tempo. It's funny, Eli Smith, the engineer who mixed all the songs on the Meant for the Sun album, said that Here and Now was by far the easiest one to do. He said something like, dude, it's 150 beats per minute. You just start like it's a Bruce Springsteen driving song and let everything fall into place. Speaking of Eli, he is a master at recording and mixing drums. The sounds he got out of Easy D for this record are big and powerful and full of energy. He did a lot of mixing at Studio A at Paramount in Los Angeles, which is a place where everybody from Sly and the Family Stone to Frank Zappa to Talking Heads to Guns N' Roses to John Mayer have worked over the years. I got to tell you, hearing my stuff coming out of the speakers in that hallowed ground was a trip. Let's go inside the isolation chamber and hear how Easy D's original drum tracks for Here and Now were recorded, and then segue into the way Eli Smith mixed them for the final master. Nice, right? Thanks for listening to the backstory of Here and Now. And thanks for watching this episode of Down the Rabbit Hole. This is the second to last episode I'm doing for the Meant for the Sun album. Just one song left to go. It's called Soul Shake. And I think I've left it for the very end because it's kind of an emotional tune for me. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to say about it. But I will figure it out. Yes, you wait and see. If you hit the subscribe button below, you'll be sure to find out when I've posted it. Until then, thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.